External Affairs Minister Salman Khurshid's first reaction after the centre dropped the death penalty against the Italian Marines has come in. Salman Khurshid speaking on the matter, which is clearly being seen as the centre having blinked first in this entire confrontation with the Italians.
It is an interaction between the court and the law officers, and the court has obviously asked for some clarifications, some points that must have been made by the petitioners, which is the Italian Marines. They must have made some point. The court would have given notice and asked for some clarifications, and the government has given clarifications. And I think that what the government has said is basically what is clearly my understanding as a lawyer is that that is what is the reasonable, objective thing that we could have done. There may have been a decision in the past that created confusion about one dimension aspect that's been clarified before the court. Now the court will decide what it thinks is the right thing to do, and it'll make a pronouncement, and we will follow that pronouncement.
There are some allegations that the government is going slow on Italy or soft on Italy.
No. What is the softness? There is a huge agitation going on in Italy. That 2 years have passed. We've not even been able to bring charges. Would you say that this is going soft, that there's an agitation in Italy? Now, they have some expectations, we have some expectations. A loss was caused to 2 of our citizens. Now, a loss was that of death. It's not a small thing. Therefore, it is our duty to ensure that the law of the land prevails in making somebody accountable for what has happened. But we are not the ones to decide. The courts have to decide whether there is culpability, whether there is liability. The courts have to decide. Unfortunately, because of various difficulties and complications, we've not been able to file the charge sheet thus far. 2 years have passed, and therefore people are complaining that 2 years have passed. We have gone to the Supreme Court in the hope that the Supreme Court will finally put at rest all different issues that are arising so that the trial can proceed.
So you had earlier stated that former Home Secretary R.K. Singh may have washed up the case because he had taken some incorrect decisions.
Don't ask me this question, ask yourself. Are we smiling? Are we happy? Are we celebrating? No.
Maha Siddiqui on the phone line with us. Maha, clearly this is a U-turn by the government after the Defence Minister promised the most stringent punishment against the Italian Marines. We now have the External Affairs Minister clearly sounding extremely diplomatic and trying to justify what the centre has done.
Well, absolutely. But remember, Maruk, when the 2 Italian Marines had gone back to their country and their country was refusing to send them back to India, one of the promises that was made to get them back was that no death penalty will be slapped on them, because death penalty is anyway something that the Western world doesn't look very kindly upon. And that was one aspect that was made clear by India. It was made clear by the External Affairs Minister himself at that time. And when the Italian Marines came back and the matter went to the NIA and SUA was slapped on them, this was the grudge that the Italian side had, and they voiced it without mincing any words, because SUA carries a death penalty, and therefore they were worried that the Marines will have to undergo trial under SUA, and their first grouse firstly was that the incident didn't take place in Indian waters. They were fighting over jurisdiction. Once the jurisdiction was agreed upon, the issue of death penalty cropped up. So there have been continuous hurdles to this effect, and that has come it's created a wedge between India and Italy to some extent, and that is why we are seeing Salman Khurshid being a little diplomatic about it while the matter is in the court.
Well, clearly it seems to be a case where diplomacy has trumped over justice. On that note, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, the other big story.